Okay, guys, yes, I think it's about that time. Yes, it's about that time for us to talk about these future exotic cars that many of us are going to be owning. Yeah, so today I've decided that I'm going to go ahead and share a couple of these dreams that Yah given to me concerning these very exotic cars that in the near future, guys, not only myself, but many of you guys also are going to be owning. Now, it's important to mention that at the different times that I'd received these dreams, my mind wasn't on cars. I wasn't watching any car videos. I wasn't thinking about cars at all, especially the very first one that I received many years ago. You see, my mind wasn't on any exotic cars, so I couldn't have, somehow inspired these dreams. They came right out of the blue. They came directly from God. You see, because I wasn't in that kind of mind frame at all. As a matter of fact, I wasn't interested too much in any type of material possessions whatsoever at the time that I had received the very first one. So I just wanted you guys to know that. So guys, this is very, very exciting. So the very first one that I want to speak about, probably some of you guys have heard about it already because I've shared it on my old channel. But the first dream was, I remember many years ago, I don't recall exactly which year it was. I think probably it's around 2019, probably. Thereabouts, I'm not sure. But in this dream, and some of these dreams are more real than the others. Some of them are extremely vivid. Some of them are visions, guys. They're more real than this reality, you see. Okay, so in this one, something had occurred, in this vision, something had occurred in Babylon, in America. And I remember my parents came to visit me. And while they came, I had purchased 2 Ferraris, guys. You see, one of these Ferraris was the expensive one, and one was at the normal price. So your typical Ferrari costs somewhere around $500,000, from $300,000 to $500,000. That's your typical Ferrari price, and the more expensive ones are from $800,000 and up, around $1 million, right about there, around that price range. So in this experience, the wealth transfer occurred, and I purchased 2 Ferraris. And I went and called over my mom, and I said, look, here are the Ferraris, you see. And why I said that to her was because, when I was young, I was very much enamored with these vehicles, but particularly Ferraris. Even as I was a child, around 10 years old, I used to have the book, and I used to greatly admire these vehicles, you see. So one could say it is my destiny to own these vehicles. And that's what Yah was showing me. And at the time, like I said again, when he'd given me this vision, my mind wasn't on it. I could care less about them. As a matter of fact, I'd forgotten even that I even liked them, I think. So it wasn't on my radar at all, you see. So when he had given me this vision, all of these memories, came flooding back in. And I thought, yes, I remember when I used to love these vehicles as a child. But God didn't forget. I probably had forgot, but God didn't forget. Hence why he gave me this dream. And he also gave it to me so that I could start dreaming again. And not only that, to work towards it, which seemed impossible at the time. Because to think that you could work, especially in this economy, and to somehow at some point in your life end up buying one of these cars, let alone 2 of them, man, that's next level fantasy, you see. But because Yah gave me that vision, it was him that showed me that I was going to buy it, I believed him. It didn't matter at the time how I was going to get it. What mattered was that it was him who gave me the vision. And so I believed him. And so fast forward until now, today, I know exactly how I'm going to purchase these cars. It is clear to me. It is crystal clear, guys. You see, and that it has to do with cryptocurrencies. Yeah, so that was the first vision that he gave me. And I, called over my mom and I said, look, here are the Ferraris that I've always told you that I'm going to buy, when I was a child, when I was a kid. And she was there looking at them. And they were beautiful, guys. They were absolutely beautiful cars. Now, throughout the years, I happen to see a couple of them that I like. I don't necessarily like all of them. Sometimes they make some that are appealing, and some of them not so appealing. Some of them, I have to say, they're just ugly. Some of them are just blatantly just ugly, guys. Just plain and simple. They're just ugly. And some of them, yes, They hit the mark with some of them. And I've seen one in particular recently, which was their first SUV, which is called the Puro Sangue. I happen to like this vehicle a lot, guys. And whenever it comes to Ferraris, you guys need to know this. That is for the ones who don't already know. These cars are more assets than liabilities. These are some of the few cars where you can end up selling them at a much higher price than what you would purchase them for. Actually, yeah. And that's because of the brand, the name Ferrari. But not only that, it's the engine. You know, very much like when you're purchasing a laptop, you're not necessarily purchasing on the outside, on the look of it. No, it's on the inside. It's what's on the inside you're paying the most attention to. You're actually purchasing the processor. Well, it's the same thing that applies to these vehicles. With Ferrari and all cars in general, as a matter of fact, you're not necessarily purchasing the look or what's on the outside, per se. It's more of the engine, the motor. You're purchasing that naturally aspirated V12 engine that will only appreciate with time. You see, it will not depreciate. And as a result, these vehicles are more assets than they are liabilities. And that's all regardless of the fact that they're actually gas guzzlers, which will cost you around $5,000 a year for the fuel cost. And to put on top of that, I believe if you're in the United States, they have a special tax, which is called the gas guzzler tax. Gas guzzler tax. My goodness, guys, you have to leave it up for the beast to, find every excuse to dip their hands in your pockets. I tell you, they're just rotten to the core. However, they have this gas guzzler tax, which is around $5,000 to charge you guys to own this vehicle. And I'm not entirely sure if it applies to other vehicles in this class of this caliber that shares the same MPG, which for the Puro Sangue, it's around 11 MPG, 11 miles to the gallon. And that there, guys, is the very definition of a gas guzzler. Therefore, this vehicle is not for everyone. As a matter of fact, these type of vehicles are status symbols. They're not your ordinary vehicles, guys, because your average multimillionaire can't afford them. They may be able to purchase them, but affording them, it's a whole nother thing. But to let you guys know, in this experience, I had purchased these two vehicles like buying two biscuits. You see, it wasn't even noticeable at all because of how wealthy I was. So I was not only able to buy them, I could, if I wanted, purchase the entire company. So buying a couple of them and being able to maintain them was absolutely nothing at all. I wouldn't even feel it. And so in that experience, there was an angel as well. And the angel told me that, yes, this is the correct way to do it. And he meant to say that as opposed to going and taking out loans to purchase these expensive cars, that would not be the right way. That would not be the correct way, because that would put you into debt and doesn't make any sense at all, which a lot of people attempt to do all the time. So there was an angel, and he said that this was the correct way. To seek first God's kingdom and have him bless you with these things. Because when he does it, it's not like when Lucifer rewards his children. You see, they run out of money and later they have to pay with their souls. No, it's not that. It's not going to be like this. When Yah blesses us, I'm telling you the truth. To purchase and own these exotic vehicles will be like a walk in the park. You won't have to worry about maintenance or gas fees. Like I said, this Puro Sangue vehicle, for the year, it costs around $5,000 for the fuel costs. And not even that will be a bother to you. You won't even notice it, to the point where we will own multiple of these vehicles, guys, as you guys are about to hear. You see, because this is not only the only two cars that I'll be owning, apparently. And this all came as a shock to me. So that was the first dream that I had received, guys, of owning exotic cars. One of them was very expensive, around the $1 million range, and one was around $500,000. And this was God showing me that this is a part of my future. It's literally my destiny, you see. And he was reminding me of my passions that I had while I was a child. And he was showing me also that he hadn't forgotten about him, even though I did. So the second dream that I had was about a Ferrari again. I dreamt that I owned a Ferrari Portofino. You see, I remember that I was in this dream and I was driving this vehicle. It was mine. And my nephew was with me. And I was surprised to how posh this car was, guys. You see, as opposed to when I used to look at it on the videos, but in this dream, it is so real that I actually drove this car. I know how it feels like to drive this car and to be in it and to own it. And I'm telling you, this car surprised me as to how posh and how luxurious it will actually be to own it in reality. I was surprised. I didn't know. I mean, I had an idea that it was gonna, it's a Ferrari and it looked a certain way from looking at it on the video. But while in this dream, it was actually exceeded what I had thought. You see, it far exceeded what I thought about it. It was looking far better. It drove better as well. And it felt even more posh and luxurious than I ever imagined it to be. So I was a bit taken aback. I was a bit surprised, guys, to be honest, with this Portofino vehicle. It's an excellent vehicle. It's a vehicle where you can purchase it for your wife, or you yourself can buy it and drive it for yourself. And I truly love this car. It's an excellent car. Like I said, sometimes they make vehicles and some of them are just ugly, guys. And I'm definitely not going to be using my money to purchase any ugly vehicles. Most definitely not. But this Portofino vehicle, I've seen it in the vision just like you would see it in real life, guys. And I'm telling you, it's a very nice vehicle. It surprised me. Very, very luxurious, very posh vehicle. It's an eye candy. And so in this experience, I was driving it and my nephew was there with me. And man, the feeling, I wish I could describe it to you, how it felt driving this vehicle. Now, guys, the third dream that I had, and this one's actually a vision, guys. This one was very, very real. Very, very real. Because I learned something that I didn't know about this vehicle in this experience. This vehicle, I believe, was about a vehicle that is not yet even made public. I believe it's about the Lamborghini Revuelto. This new Lamborghini that they made, this V12 engine Lamborghini. But in this experience, it was a Spider, which means that it was the convertible version, which currently they don't have the convertible version for the Revuelto. They don't have that as yet. But in my experience, it was the convertible version. You see, it didn't have the top on, and it was a black one. And I had it out in the open, and I was revving the engine, guys. Listen to me. I learned something in that experience. I'm telling you guys just how real this experience was. I discovered in this experience just how loud these Lamborghini engines are. To the point where I thought that, what in the world would I be doing with an engine or a vehicle that is so loud? I mean, to the point where it's almost impractical. That is just way too loud, guys, for me. That's what I'm thinking, especially when I woke up. I'm thinking that, no, man, that's a little bit too loud for me. That's what I was thinking. But regardless, I did dream about it, guys. And so while I was in there, I was revving up the engine so loud, guys. And the sound of it was attracting these kids. I mean, kids were coming from everywhere. They were popping up from everywhere, guys. You see, these appeared to be around maybe 8 to 12-year-old kids. And they were more enamored with it, even more than myself. They were more amused by the sound of it and the look of the car. You know how kids are. And they were gathered all around and they were so excited, guys. And there were so kids. And I was just thinking, where are the adults? I don't see any adults at all. But there were so many. I'm talking about a lot of kids, guys. And the sound of it would draw them closer to come and to have a look. And this car was just beautiful in that shiny black color. This V12 Lamborghini, man, it was just way louder than I would ever imagine a car's engine to be. And it was in this experience that I learned that these cars are extremely loud, and that's for you guys who have never heard them. Like I myself, I haven't heard it before in real life. I discovered this in this dream. And even up till now, I still haven't seen one of these vehicles or heard it revving in real life. You see, it's in the experience that I discovered this, and I know this to be a reality, that these car engines, man, you don't want to be owning one of these cars in a neighborhood where you're close to your neighbors, because it's going to be problems. Trust me. The engines are just excessively loud, way too loud, I'm thinking, even for myself. Because you want to be conservative, that is just excessively loud. And I can't even wrap my head around, why would I even purchase a vehicle like this? Except for an investment purpose, because like I said, some of them are investments. Some of these cars are investments, especially these Ferraris. Their price don't depreciate, they only appreciate. You see, because these are the only vehicles, like I just mentioned before, you can purchase them for like, let's say around $500,000 or $500,000. And when it comes time for you to sell it used, you're selling it at $200,000 or $300,000 more than what you purchased it for. You see, which is exactly what you want to do. And that is all considering, of course, if you take very good care of your vehicle and you keep the mileage to a certain level, you know, then it will continue to appreciate over the years. So that was the third dream, guys. And that dream was it was more real than real life. I was just astounded as to how loud this Lamborghini car engine is. And I'm pretty sure that's how they are in real life, because like I said, the experience was very real, very, very real. Now, the fourth dream was one that I believe I'd shared with you guys just recently. In that dream, I was living in a very posh neighborhood, very, very posh, very high end. And in that dream, it was my knowledge that I owned several luxury vehicles, several of them, guys. And I was thinking in my head that I'm going to use the Range Rover, which was the latest year Range Rover at that time in the vision, to go on a date, to go take out this hot date that I had. So I'll have plenty of options as regards to the different vehicles that I'll own in the future, but not only myself, because Yah has shown it to me in so many different visions, guys. And it has to do with the wealth transfer. Many of you guys out there as well are going to be owning several of these vehicles as well. You know, because we are all different. You guys, you have your own vehicle that you like, and we're going to own not one or two, but several of them. And we'll be able to maintain them. We'll be able to more than maintain them. Even if we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them, it won't be a problem. It won't make you go broke with the amount that Yah will bless you all with. Because also, Yah had sent an angel. I remember once he sent an angel, and the angel told me how much I was assigned to make out of the wealth transfer. And he actually gave me the understanding that there were different categories in the wealth transfer. Some people, and he used the word assigned, which is very important. Some people are assigned to become multimillionaires. Some are assigned to become multi-billionaires. You see, some are assigned to even become trillionaires. You see, so there are different levels and different asset class levels that many of you guys are going to be in. And so for many of us, owning a couple of these cars will be nothing at all, and it won't be a problem. But however, I must close and let you guys know that there's a warning that's going to come with all of this. You see, which I'm not going to be talking about it here, probably in a future video. There's a very serious warning, guys, that at some time after the wealth transfer, I want you guys to understand this. The Lord is going to return. Yes, the Lord comes after the wealth transfer, even as he has shown it to myself, not only to myself, but several others. And I have to speak about this at some future date. It's going to be very, very serious, because perhaps he had done it this way deliberately to test us. I don't know. But one thing I can tell you for sure is that the wealth transfer will occur. We will most definitely bask in the glory of riches here on earth, even before the Lord Jesus returns. But he will most definitely return at some point after the wealth transfer, as I've seen it. And trust me, he's coming in hot. He's coming in with a bang, I tell you, which is going to awaken everything and everyone that's asleep. So guys, there you have it. I thought that these dreams were very, very cool, very inspirational. And my intention was to make you guys very excited for these days when they manifest, because many of you guys, your dreams are going to be fulfilled. Things that you've been thinking about since you were kids, you're going to be able to do them. I've not only seen me owning cars, I've also seen myself owning houses as well. Real quick, in this experience, it was like a bunch of us were in a mansion, right? And I remember the news media was outside, and they had their, They had their mics with the news channel symbol on it, several different news channels. And they were outside and looking at us inside in our mansions. And they were just absolutely amazed by us. In that experience, guys, we were literally like celebrities, something that I dread. Personally, I dread this because I'm more reclusive. I'm more like laid back. I want to be like behind the scenes. The celebrity thing is not for me. But in this experience, it is as if Yah made us celebrities. Yes, because the news stations, several different news stations were out there, and they were just completely amazed at just how wealthy we were. It was kind of this Bruce Wayne-esque kind of situation it reminded me of. We were literally in a mansion. We were living in a mansion, guys. It was not only myself, it was a group of us that was living in this mansion. And the news channels were out there looking, perhaps waiting for us to come out to make statements or to give a word. And we were like celebrities. So some of us, I think, honestly, we're going to be catapulted to celebrity status, whether we like it or not. It's unavoidable. Personally, I hope that's not the case, but I believe Yah is going to be doing this for his purposes. He's going to catapult and it's going to uplift some of us to celebrity status, you see, because of how wealthy we're going to be. So that's it, guys. I just thought that many of you would be blessed by these dreams because it's going to be the reality for many of you as well. I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one who's been having these dreams about these exotic cars and mansions and sex and excessive money, etc. Yah has been showing many of you guys as well. So this is nothing more than just a confirmation to what God has been showing to many of you as well. And it's only meant to be a blessing and a confirmation to greatly complement what Yah has been showing to you as well. So there you have it. I'm not going to make this video any longer. It's just way too long already. You guys, please take care of yourselves. Peace. Shalom. Until next time.